Okay, it's day 38 of lockdown. So we're in level 3 lockdown at the moment. We've been here for about a week or so, and we've got another week left to run. And then if all goes well, we'll head down to level 2. And things are looking reasonably on track for that. New cases of the virus have been in single figures for like nearly 10 days. We had one more death today. So we've had like 3 or 4 days with no deaths, 3 days with no deaths. But then we had one more today. There's only 5 or 6 people left in hospital. So yeah, it looks like we're getting close to the end of it for New Zealand, which is just great news. And everybody's kind of just itching to get back to work, to get back out and start getting on with their lives. But things are going to be different for quite some time for a lot of people. For some people it's going to be very hard, for some people it's just going to be different. And we're quite lucky with a bunch of the people that I contract to, or the place that I contracts to. They've been stuck in lockdown, but now they're back out working again. So the whole big push is to just get everybody back working safely. So they're getting PPE, they're getting flu injections, and doing what they can to make sure that they can get back safely. But everybody's keen to get back into it. And it looks like, with pretty much no reports of community transmission of the virus, that we may be lucky enough to completely eradicate the virus here. And that would be totally amazing. That would be really, really amazing if we can do that. Australia's also looking good across the ditch. I saw a thing this morning where Queensland's had like 5 days of no reported cases. So things are looking positive there. So if we can both countries can get rid of the virus, then trans-Tasman flights will open up again. We can start going to Australia. They can come here. They were our biggest, nearest trading partners. So this would be a really, really good thing to have happen. So things are looking pretty positive. But more importantly, for me anyway, I've had some bad news and some good news. The bad news is the Wellington Urban Ultra Marathon has been postponed until next year. Bugger. I was really hoping that we'd be able to have that race in July. But Gareth made the call. He made it early, and to be fair, it's a good call to make early, because people would be flying in, they've got to book hotels, they've got to train for it, all that kind of stuff. And now they know it's not on, then and that means all the hill work that I've been doing lately is probably going to not turn out to be needed. So as you do, the first thing I did was jump on the computer and say, okay, what else can I sign up for? And all the other races are cancelled as well. So that's a bit of a bummer. It would have been good to be able to do something, but there's always the race in November, which is the 100k race, which I was hoping to do. So that just means I've got a bit longer to train for that, which I will do. And to help me do that, after about 2 years of absolute beasting, my shoes finally gave up the ghost. And they've been really, really good. So they've done about 3,654 kilometres in my road shoes since August 2018. So they've handled things pretty well. So I got some new ones. Lovely. In fetching grey. So this is the latest version of the New Balance 860s. This is the wide version, because my feet are quite wide now. These have been really, really good. Never had a blister with these, never had a problem with them. I've run in the rain, I've run in the heat, I've run a little bit off-road in them, never had a problem with them. So I'm super happy to get another pair of these. And as soon as the weather clears up, I'm going to go out and go for a run in them. They arrived this morning and the weather turned to crap just afterwards. So I won't be heading out in them just yet, but so looking forward to doing that. And one of the other interesting things with one of the side effects from the lockdown that we've faced here, and what we're seeing around the world, is nature is raising its head up and going, where's everybody gone? And animals are encroaching on the urban environment and trying to figure out what the story is. And we're seeing stuff here that's just astonishingly good. I saw a video this morning of a New Zealand falcon on the outskirts of the city, and that's really astonishingly good. So these are very rare birds in New Zealand, and they live primarily in and around the bush. You don't see them. I've never seen one in the wild myself, ever. And I lived in a small town. I grew up in a small town, so I've never seen one in the wild. And I've spent a bunch of time up in the ranges in the bush. I've never seen one. And the fact that they're coming in to the outskirts of the city now is really, really cool. So hopefully, just in the space of a month and a half, the ranges are perhaps opening up, and there's a bit of positivity there, which if we can just make a change and keep the change going so that these birds can return, it would just be amazing. And on the other side of the coin, in the sea, this week we had a humpback whale swimming around inside Wellington Harbour. It's apparently a young whale. He's popped in, he's cruising around the harbour, he's been here for a couple of days, just checking things out. I mean, we don't have to go down to Kaikoura to go whale watching, the whales are coming to us. And he's swimming within 10 or 15 metres of the shore. So it's not like he's just way out in the middle, and people have told you about them. There's people out with cell phones standing on the waterfront taking pictures of this whale swimming around. So that's an amazing thing. And it just shows, I think, how quickly nature can rebound if you let it. And it may be one of those things for the likes of the fish stocks. If you look at 6 months maybe of people not fishing, particularly the big trawlers not taking fish out of the sea, then those fish have got a really, really good chance of rebounding and our fish stocks becoming more and more sustainable. So there could be some really positive byproducts of what is a particularly unpositive event. And I'm really, really interested to see what happens once we come out of lockdown completely. Right? Does the country go back to life as normal, and we'll lose all the lessons that we've learned and the benefits that we've had a glimpse of? Or will we say, you know what, I kind of like where this was going, apart from having the virus, but I like what was happening with nature and how society was looking after each other, and the fact that the government was actually being nice to us. I quite like that idea. Let's keep doing that. Or will they go back to saying we're just slaves to the bankers and the stock market, and that's all we exist for? And I'm hopeful we'll choose the former and decide that there is more to life than the pursuit of the dollar bill, and things are more valuable than spending your life to increase the profit of someone in another country. But we'll see. Right, so yeah, apart from that, not really much to report. I've been working really hard just lately, which is why I haven't really done much in the way of videos. I've been there's a bunch of the companies that I do stuff for, I've been using this time during lockdown when their staff can't work to modernise and improve and enhance IT systems, which is what I've been working on, so that when they go back to work they have new toys to play with, which helps with the productivity and stuff. So I've been kept quite busy, which is quite good. But no, quite happy with how that's going. Quite happy with the direction that the country's going and how the government's handling things, really. They haven't done everything perfectly, but then no government has and no government would have, right? There's lots of people second guessing things and saying they should have done this, they should have done that, they should have known this, they should have known that. But the government and anybody who does this sort of thing, you deal with the situation you're given with the information you have at the time. And 6 weeks down the track you can look back and say, wow, if we'd done this it would have been different. But you didn't have that information 6 weeks back. So you've got to play the hand that you dealt to the best of your ability at the time. And the proof of the government doing the right thing is the fact that we currently have 20 dead in the country. That's our death toll. It's 20 too many, but it's a hell of a lot less than the over 60,000 that the US has got. And it's a much, much less than the 60,000 that was projected to happen if we did nothing. So we've got a low death toll. Our economy's taken a hit, but so is everybody's economy. It's not like we're in this on our own, and our government has done something completely stupid, completely off the wall, and destroyed our economy while the rest of the world is just carrying on and having a good day out. Everybody's economy is suffering, everybody's population is suffering, just at different levels. And because of the stance that our government took, they stuck to their guns, and the people, by and large, have backed what the government's done. I think we've got ourselves in a position where our economy will rebound really, really fast and be really robust. And we won't face the ongoing problems that other countries are going to be facing with things like food shortages, conflict, and massive disruptions to society, more authoritarian rule, people being clamped down upon, liberties being lost, that kind of thing. I think we're much more likely to find that, yeah, we've taken a bit of a hit in terms of liberties, in terms of the economy, but by the end of the year, by the end of this year, I'm predicting, we will have dug ourselves out of most of that, and we will be in the best possible position we could be in, given the situation of the world. And it's not without cost. As I say, 20 people lost their lives. A lot of people are going to be unemployed. We have a big tourism industry that's pretty much decimated. Universities make a lot of their money from overseas students. That's all going to go away for a bit. But the alternative is trying to keep the stock market running, and a bunch of people die that didn't need to. So I'm quite grateful that the government has chosen the path that it's chosen, given that one of those people that might have died could have been me. Happy to not be dead. And I haven't had the virus yet, and I hope I don't get it, because it doesn't sound like it's a lot of fun. But instead of looking at herd immunity, we're looking at, let's keep the virus out, and when it turns up, you just bounce on it, get rid of it as fast as you can. And I think now that the panic has gone, that this is just going to be uncontainable and it's going to run rampant, and hospitals are going to be overwhelmed, and it's all going to end badly. I think the health system is now at the point where if we have another outbreak, we'll just throw a bunch of resources at it and make it go away, and we know we could do that. And what you're likely to find is there'll be if you get an outbreak in a small town or a city, they'll just shut that small town or city down, and the rest of the country will completely operate as normal. And we know what works. We know how to solve the problem. We've proven that it works. Everybody knows what works and what they need to do to make the problem go away. So it's just a matter of your town is going to be shut down for a month, and then your life goes back to normal. And I think that's actually going to be fine for most people, because they know the food's not going to go away, right? They know the government is going to come and help them with subsidies, with loans, with unemployment benefits, right? They know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. They know they will get there, they will get support, it will happen. And particularly if it's only a small area that is going through this at any one time, you'll find most people are going to be quite comfortable with the way that works, as opposed to we had no idea what was going to happen, whether the whole country was going to get overrun, whether we're going to be facing things like the UK is facing, you know, with their health system completely overwhelmed, unable to cope, and people dying in their droves. So, yep, at level 3, things are looking positive. And hopefully, in a week's time, we'll go down to level 2. Pretty much everybody goes back to work at that stage that can go back to work. And we start picking things up and dusting ourselves off and moving on. And given the way our country typically operates, once we've done that, the next thing we'll probably do is start looking to our neighbours and saying, how can we help? And I think that will be the next step, is we'll start looking to the Pacific Islands and saying, what do you need? And we'll be able to go and help them deal with their issues, get them safe, and then start opening the Pacific up. So positive times ahead. So wherever you are, I hope you're well. I hope your family's well. And I hope you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, because it is there. We just keep moving one step at a time, one day at a time, and we'll get there. So until the next time, and hopefully next time I'll be able to show you my new shoes in action. We'll catch you later.